I think the name is important because we have a good reputation in the community. And we know that over the years we've done 49 years. Can you believe I've been here that long? We've done a good job for people. And I'm real proud of us, and I'm proud of our family and proud of our staff, including new staff. We're very fortunate to have wonderful people working. And
they're a wonderful family to work for. I've been with them for 25 years. They have always treated me as one of their own, and they've extended that to my own family. They've always instilled in all the employees the belief that we should always treat the families we serve as if they were our own.
Well, a few years ago, there was a shift in funeral service, and it went from everybody selecting the same thing, a traditional funeral with burial, to an area where a few people broke off and began to offer low-cost services. We had our choice at that time. We knew we could either provide high-quality service or we could become a low-cost provider, but we couldn't do both. Faced with that choice, we opted to provide quality.
I think you expect me to say how horrendous it was, how traumatic it was, how terrible it was. It was not. We lived next door to the funeral home for 3 years before we moved out to the country, and moving out to the country was a good thing because it gave me a chance to get away from my work. The 6-mile drive home was just perfect. So when I'd get home, I'd be ready to be with family, and our kids would run up to me when they were little, and I still remember them putting their arms around my leg and holding me as I walked through the door, and that was such a welcome. That was just wonderful.
The most memorable time would be when a child had died, and I don't want to be too specific because I prefer that it not be identifiable, but the injuries were very severe, and the family really wanted to see their child one more time. So Chasten and I worked our regular work day, and then at 5 we'd go home, got a bite to eat, came back at about 6 o'clock, and we worked until 3 in the morning. And we did that for 3 nights straight. And then after the 3rd night that we did that, the child was able to be seen by the parents, and they have never forgotten that, and we have never forgotten it. It was just to be able to do that for them, to give them a final picture where they were able to see their child and say goodbye. And that's probably the most meaningful thing that has happened to me in the 25 years I've been doing this.
That's a tough one because there were many highlights. One that stands out in my mind particularly is going out one afternoon to the Crane Cemetery, the Catholic cemetery, and taking 2 little girls out there whose baby brother had died, and died just a few days before that. And it was a few weeks before that, because when we went out, his stone was there, his grave marker was there. And it was a beautiful day, and the clouds were floating in the skies, and these girls were just like, I think 5 and 7 or something like that. Their mother asked me to take them out, so I did. And we just talked, and pretty soon we were lying down in the grass and running around, hopping over gravestones, and we had a wonderful time out there while I was talking to them about their brother and about his death and how we were all still connected. And it was a great time. I love little kids. I love talking to them, love being with them.
When you go to the mailbox and you get a thank you letter from a family thanking you for all the hard work and effort you put into making a difficult time more easier.
Well, after graduating mortuary school, I was looking for a job, and going to Weeks, I found that they really care about their employees and their families that they serve alike.
Really good. You're really honored when your sons do something that you have done. Think it has value, and they want to continue it.
I don't really think about that too often. I enjoy meeting with I enjoy meeting with families and that know Dad, that know our family. It's a great, it's just a good feeling to be able to help people you know. And I think that our family has served people well in the community, and I just enjoy building on that. Well, I think it all comes down to the people that you're working with. Do you know who the people are? Who are the funeral directors? Who will be coming out to pick up the person that died? Where will the person who died be taken? Will they remain in the funeral home's care, or are they taken to a further, distant location? Does the funeral home staff do more than just the funeral? Will they continue to follow up afterwards? Will they help with veterans benefits, with Social Security, with life insurance claims? All those things are important and makes a difference. It's important that you know who you work with.
Well, in the first place, I don't think a person should choose his own funeral or her own funeral. I think that's up to the remaining family. And they need that. They need to do that. It's important work for them to do. People don't sometimes understand that. And people don't like to have funerals. Nobody really likes funerals, but there's a sense of obligation and a sense of fulfillment when you complete something for a family member that will honor her or him. So, if I were planning my own funeral, I would not have it in the funeral home. I would have it in our church, because my wife and I have been closely associated with Trinity for 49 years. We don't want to have a service anyplace else. So my service should be in my church, and my pastor should be officiating. One of my best friends is a retired rabbi in Boston, but he's getting too old to travel. If he were able to travel, I would want him to come and participate in the service. I haven't asked our pastor about that, but I think it would be okay. And for my service, I would like, first of all, I want my body at the service. That should not have to be mentioned, but it often is neglected now. People don't think the body is important enough to bring to the service, but it is important. I want my body at the service, and when my body is brought in, I want pomp and circumstance played. That's graduation music. I have a good education. I want that pomp and circumstance played. When my body is taken out, I want the Hallelujah chorus played, because it's traditional to stand whenever the Hallelujah chorus is played. And I always stand up. So if I'm coming out of the service, my own service, and I'm lying down in the casket, and I don't stand up for the Hallelujah chorus, you can know for sure that I'm dead. On behalf of the Weeks family and the Weeks Funeral Homes, I thank you for 49 years of support and for your continuing support and friendship.